talk about the NQ if anybody's got anything specific on the NQ. They pretty much performed darn near identical today with respect to the moves. So kind of take everything we're talking about here and just copy it over to the NQ. All right. Well, welcome, folks. Officially starting off the new year here. First meeting. I think Bob and I are excited to keep bringing more stuff here to the group. I know we're going to start some additional just kind of short form video and so forth. So it's going to be a good year. So we'll start off as always. Has anybody got any questions specifically to how today played out? And it can be literally anything, like something that you understood, something you didn't understand, actions that you took, actions that you didn't take because maybe you didn't understand something or something just didn't come and get you. Let's start there and we'll work our way through all this. Looks like I got Jay, Big Chief. Yeah, how'd you guys' day go?
I was nervous for the first day. I'm just telling you, honest God truth. I didn't know what was gonna go on. I was just nervous. I put in a couple of trades before 9:30, and I won those off the
Chartcast.
the shortcast. Yeah, I took a couple trades off of that. I won those, and then I think.
Well, talk me through what you did do, and we'll just kind of share with the group, and just because it always helps. Like it always helps not just to hear my voice and kind of how I do things, but really like how people understand what the market is providing information wise and how people are perceiving it. So,
Okay, I got in around the 8:10.
8:10.
Right, yeah, right there.
Go down here somewhere. Okay.
Nope, my bus. That's I got in 8:40. Is that 8:10?
This is 8:10 right here.
The first blue candle.
Right okay. 8:35 ish.
I got in right there.
Okay. And then what yeah, just walk me through. Like, what did you see? What were you processing? Go ahead.
Okay. My process was I looked at the candles to my left and they had four.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's all like you said, it's all pre-market, it's all just chart cast. So okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I was a big chicken. I didn't make it that far.
Yeah. it's
second target, and that's basically where I got out.
I mean, so you're still talking what, 8, 9 points, 7 points,
yes. Mm-hmm.
something. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is, again, if you consider what most people in this industry, like real retail traders, I mean, they're just thrilled if they're getting ticks.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done.
Yep. And then my second trade was I ain't got my stuff on. I should turn it on. The third candle that's on the decision.
So around 11:30.
No, decision up.
Oh, this one
yes.
to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so around what?
No,
10, 10,
the 10:05, I think is that it right there? The one that closed above it?
right here. Yep, 10:05. Got it.
I took that right there.
Okay. And then where'd you take it to?
To the rubber band, I got out.
Perfect. So you're plus 10 points on the day, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Two trades, easy peasy, 10 points. Anybody else take the rubber band short in the counter trend this morning?
I did take the rubber band short at, what was that, 9:35?
Mhm.
Took that down. I got out at that second,
Second target. Okay.
yeah.
As you should.
I don't know why, I would just get nervous on Mondays, so I thought, I just, close it out, so.
Fine. No, again, this is good. Like this is what I'm after, because I'm looking to ensure that people are doing at least the thing that the market's telling them to do. So far, I got two in a row here. Nobody said, well, I sold down here or I bought after it tried to fool us at 950. Like I didn't catch any of that yet. So that's good. It means what we're hearing is what it's supposed to be.
I'm trying to stay at, like, the targets or the outer edges and not playing in the middle. Every time I play in the middle, sometimes I feel like chase, and then every time it, like, pounds me.
Yep. And that's exactly, I mean, that's the rules of this game, right? Like it's to take money from the hands of the weak. And so if we've got the understanding of where the potential is, and that's all it ever is, right? It's just potential. Because it's a whole series of if then. If it can do this, then it can do that. If it can do that, it can do this, et cetera, et cetera. So if you at least know where the potential is, then you can shoot for it. And then at the end of that, it's like, yeah, when it gets to the rubber band, like it's anybody's guess. Like what's going to happen? I don't know. Are there really good um, odds, if you want to call it that? It's not gambling, but is there good high percentages that the market certainly should have come up to test this decision point today? Absolutely. Could they have stopped it here and just done nothing else today? Of course they can. So it's the same thing. Play by the rules. Know when to get out. Know when to get out. Take profit accordingly. So this is good. This is all good feedback so far.
And so I have a question. The 10:05 candle, I kind of like that trade, actually. We took that because it was showing kind of support there at, basically POC, I guess. And not,
because what was it really doing? Like look at it from a storyline perspective. So here's your rubber band and here are your targets.
Right.
So what was it really doing? It was simply supporting prior price, which were targets 1 and target 2.
Right.
I, for one, was not willing. I didn't do it. I saw this come up, 25. I said, oh shoot, we got a has to hold down there. If it so decides to grace us with that option, then I'll buy. But I mean, again, this is all part of the whole, storyline concept is that you got to know where you are in the story. And we're starting off here at 9:30 in the morning, having basically touched target 1. Like that's the start of the day.
Yeah.
Like there's not much to do there. Like, cause you don't short that. Never. I don't advocate shorting first target ever. Not unless there's something, like maybe a big picture has to hold sitting like right on top of it. And on top of that, maybe it's also, I don't know, expected high. Like there's got to be a pretty compelling argument for me to think about shorting what is considered first target.
I was so hoping it was going to drop down to that has to hold.
Oh, me too.
I was really looking for that trade.
You and me both, man. I was like, come on, do it. Yeah, I didn't do much other than after it got up here. I got 44. I took it to targets 1 and 2, and I was still holding some when it came up and took me out of the remaining contracts. And then as it did it again, I was like, well, I should try it again because it wicked, right? It didn't actually close. So I got back in a little behind the 8 ball here, like 42. Yeah, I was like right there. So I was a little behind the 8 ball on that one. But I still, targets one, target two, right? Took more profits. I did that twice. And then I wasn't willing to do it again, thankfully. Just dumb luck there. And then I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited. I finally took some at decision and I took some at the hurdle on the way down.
I
So
did.
that's kind of that's the rules of the game, right? Like interact with the market at these really key levels. And even if it blows through, like, if it blows through here, then I lose 4 points. Oh well.
I did do a sim trade example where I thought, well, you know what? It looks like it's failing decision. I'll buy there or sell there, and then I just put my, take profit down there at, the first and second targets, and walked away, and left to go somewhere and came back, and I did actually do okay on that.
Mm-hmm. From the decision or from the hurdle?
From the decision is where I put the trade in
Okay.
at.
So you just let the stop somewhere. Where was your stop?
I had the stop rate at about the midpoint between decision and hurdle, 69.59. But then
Oh, I
my
gotcha. Okay.
my stop trails, as it goes down.
Mhm.
So, and then it took me out.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I was referring to as I was exiting for the day. I was like, all right, here we are, we're in the zone. And then if you pull up the NQ, it was, oddly enough, it was a little more of a defined zone. It's just between like few points. Yeah, like that was it. And then that's what I'd said. Like, if you don't have a lot of faith in the targets, just use the core, take profit accordingly. And again, if you look at the reaction, this is why I emphasize taking profit after the market's made a move into its targets.
Okay.
This is why it's so important, because now you're in the unknown, quite frankly. And why is it the unknown? Because they took all the effort, money, and willpower to get you to the targets, and they nailed all of them, right? They did it early this morning around the 7, because I just put those up. They actually did it earlier than that. It was way early in the morning. They achieved those. But they did that. They did scenario 1, 2, and 3, got all of them. And then until they actually give official targets, which they kind of did, but I was a little leery. I was like, I'll post them anyway. Because if it holds, we'll be fine, which it did. But yeah, even still, like, you look at the reaction of the market. That's why it's like, just take profit. Like, here it is, midpoint, bam, bounce. 930 bar, bam, bigger bounce. 930 bar again, bam, bounce, and then back down again. POC, boom, bounce. Like, why do I want you guys to take profit of these areas? Because they're wildly important. Like, they're great with respect to looking back and realizing, like, okay, let's just do it in steps, right? All right. We went to a rubber band, check. We were inside of like kind of a resistance band that was going to be a bit of a bear for the market to get through, which is what we had said. Check. It's failed that. Okay. It's gotten below high mid 1. Check. It's gotten back below 930. Check. And these are just like little things you can kind of run through your mind all the time and just kind of keep yourself in check also, and just realize, like, okay, if I've got any bias in me that says I should be buying in the midst of certain moves or selling in certain moves, you can just look back and realize, like, man, we're clearly in the direction that I am not in, perhaps, or I'm thinking about, like, wanting to go the other way. But it's just good stuff to remember.
Can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Can you show me a good quarter core move?
Core to core move, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these are perfect. So it's expected high to high mid 1. That's a core to core, and then high mid 1 to POC, which it never hadn't really officially gotten there. But this This is fine. Why? Because we had targets. And as we have said many times, targets take precedent over everything. So even though it's really close to POC here at the 39, what's POC at? 38 quarter. You don't play that game. You're like, no. You take profit out ahead of even the 39. You get out like 40 half, right? Like you don't mess around. But the major core to core trades are expected highs, midpoints, POC, again, midpoint, expected low. All the heavily highlighted, or I guess dashed areas. The think of the shaded area that's attached to each one of those as kind of the most conservative, or in some cases the most aggressive. So like let's say that you're okay, so this is a good example. We had a hurdle up here just above expected high. Okay, fine. But I don't know, you're the type of trader who's like, I just don't want to miss the trade. That's really your mentality versus waiting to get that last and final tick. You can view the hot zone, as this is called, okay, as well, this is just a more aggressive entry to go short versus waiting for it to get up to the top of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then as you're falling, right? So now we'll take the inverse. As you're falling, the most conservative exit to take profit is because you're coming into it, right? You're coming from the top down, is the top of the hot zone at high mid one, whereas the more aggressive, you're gonna try to hold longer, right? Is the bottom of it. And in both cases, they're prime examples today. I mean, look at this. This is perfect. Hits it, shoots straight back up. Comes down the second time, hits basically the bottom, and shoots straight back up. Comes in, nearly hits it. I mean, that's within like what, a tick, 2 ticks. Tick, tries to bounce, hits it a couple more times, bounce, hits the bottom, right? So I just view that as, it depends on how you're coming into it, right? Like, am I coming into it having already, am I already in a short, for instance? Well, then, okay, the most conservative exits the top, most aggressive is the bottom. Now, again, the whole thing completely falls apart when you get targets. Okay. If targets are given, I don't care where they're at. And this is what we talk about with not fiddling in the middle. Like, never try to enter here. Like, this is the white zone between POC and these upper zones of the core. Never try to enter in here again, unless something specific is stated. But yes, if there's a target there, you take profit. Or if you're not in a trade and it's sinking, right? And this is what gets most people, like even folks who maybe, like, you could probably give them the core and they would still stumble quite a lot because they're sitting there thinking, maybe to your point, like, oh, I'll just take it from high mid to POC, not knowing that there's actually a target sitting here, at 42, which this candle here is a pretty good representation of what happens when it hits a target. And these candles are another great representation of what it hits. And this is great too. I think I said it before I left. This is still valid, this decision point, right? So it's still sitting out here at 39.75, 39.5, something like that. I mean, look where we've been. Here it is. Because what is this decision point? Does anybody remember what this decision point is in reference to? Nobody? Who was in the room today?
I don't remember.
These targets up here. Yeah, like here's what we're messing with now. If you drill that box, buy low, sell high. Where's low? Where's high? There you go. To your point, Big Chief, everything in the middle, just leave it the hell alone. It's just not worth it. It's their job to shake the tree and take your money. Which is why I didn't do pretty much anything at the very, very start of the morning. I waited for it to get to the high. Like, here's my box again.
Mm-hmm.
And I used this box as a little different representation. I understand. I put it at the rubber band where I don't typically do that here, because the rubber band is always and will forever be basically excess. They don't ever have to take it to the rubber band. Never. If they do, they're telling you something that you need to be paying attention to. That means that there is more strength or weakness, depending upon direction, in the market and in that move, and you better be paying attention. It's like, oh crap, we made it to the rubber band. That's telling. Does it have to happen like right here, right now? No, and doesn't often do that. It very rarely does that. No, it doesn't typically blow through rubber band and just like completely hauled in that direction. It's not how it works. Sometimes, not always. I guess rarely would be the proper term. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with here come tomorrow, depending on how this 39 half reacts in the overnight in the Globex session. I have to go back and find the. Oh yeah, it's down here. It's not even that far. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so you can watch this. Here you go. Little extra for you guys who are here this evening. So you wake up tomorrow morning and we are above or below 32. That's the has to hold. There you go, which is funny. It's like almost dead middle of the 9:30 opening from today. Yeah, they can dip it a little bit, but they can't hang out down here for too long. They got to get back up and above and stay above 32. So anyhow, that's a completely separate thing. Cool. What else? I had something I was going to talk about. I didn't write it down. All right. Anybody else? Who else wants to share what they saw, what they did, and see if we can help correct it if needs correcting, or just give you a big applause? Who else is here? Hollywood. How you doing, Jonesy? It was a very logical day. I'll give them that. It just was a grind. Just an absolute grind. And this is why we have talked about how you can't really time the market, right? Like, who the heck knew it was going to take until nearly noon for the market to finally reach the hurdle? Like, there's no way to time it. And it doesn't really matter. Timing's not the issue. It's price. Do we have price figured out? Because if this price holds or breaks or trades through or maybe pushes through by a little bit, but then recovers, like, that's what's important. It's not when is it going to happen. It's the price. Jones, you got here late. Oh, no worries. Yeah, how'd your day go? And you'll have to remind me, Jonesy, have you and I ever done our one-on-one? Don't recall. Hit my goal this AM. Good. Took my limit off the hurdle and pissed myself. I'm hoping it's a good piss. Sounds like it. Gotcha. All right. Well, hey, again, it's baby steps sometimes, right? So long as, again, like everybody here so far this evening has said the same thing. At least what I'm hearing is that you're having patience. Just taking the opportunity to engage with the market at the key level and not other places. So again, this is great. It's great news. Hollywood, how about you? Hollywood's having dessert. All right. Who else? What else you want to talk about? Yeah, any part of this that doesn't make sense, please let me know.
One
Did
thing
not.
that made me so hesitant, we just had a lot of stuff. It was like a big, like O'Hara we was in this morning. All the stuff that we had on the chart. So I was thinking at the decision to go up, but then you see everything above it that can stop it.
Mhm.
So that made me real hesitant. So like you said, I was just being careful because you
Okay.
didn't know what it was going to do when they got to the minor has to hold and the decision. So that was one of the reasons I just watched.
Yeah, but you already, it sounds like you already had like two great trades that went in
Yeah,
prior
two
to
great
anyway. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like when you've had good trades and you're up significant number of points, those are the opportunities to choose to be picky, which everybody should at that point. Like, yes, be like super picky. Like even this morning, I was being relatively picky. I said to myself that I'm not going to do anything from a buying perspective unless this thing came back down here to like 25. It didn't. Yeah, all right, so be it. Buy just sat there and never got picked up. Jones, you going on vacation Friday? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Just message me and we'll do it. I try to do them on Fridays. So when you get back, you let me know. And then Hollywood didn't get any trades in today. Okay. Was there anything that needed to be, well, Hollywood, anything, I don't put words in your mouth or thoughts, like anything I can help you with, or was it just, are you good? Because those days happen too. You don't have to trade every day. That's all right. All good. In a contract negotiation distract. Okay, cool. All right. Easy peasy then. What else? Yeah, really, again, it's not a ton that it didn't do that wasn't logical. It was a very logical day. They did a great job of just kind of maintaining. They just did it really slow. All right. Surely somebody's got something for me. I don't have Ryan here to talk about stuff. Everybody's good. Nobody had any like hiccups or things you're just like, I don't know, potentially misinterpreted. Like it doesn't sound like it, honestly. It sounds like you guys all did great. You waited, you were patient. I don't really have any magical tidbits to give you this morning or this evening. I am reading a book right now. Has anybody heard this one? Andrew Sorkin, 1929. Has anybody read this book yet? It's about the uh, financial collapse from the 1920s, 1929, of course. And it's amazing the correlations that went on in 1929 that are happening right now in history. It's pretty phenomenal. Getting better at being patient, good. Very hard for me. Okay. What is it that you find most challenging from a patient perspective? I always love listening to how people kind of perceive like one person's patient is another man's like you're going too fast. Does your microphone not work? ADHD. Nice. Yeah.
I think for me, being patient or what I've been practicing is just, following the rules, right? And stuff that I create for myself, staying out of the middle, but just taking a look at where things are at. If I feel a little weird about it, I just don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
or that the videos that you guys created were really helpful. Understanding, what each one of those things means and what you actually just kind of described. If I was trying to do the walk away trade, but I was being rushed, to go to the office and whatnot. And I think
Mm-hmm.
because I was up there at the hurdle, I waited for it to come back down to decision. And I think for me, it would have been better. And again, I was doing a sim trade, so I was just trying to practice a little bit. I
Sure.
could have taken
Yeah.
that to the hurdle, and then just what you described, taking it there at high mid, at the upper high mid, and then putting enough contracts in there to be able to take it in stages would have worked
Mm-hmm.
out really nicely. I mean, it would have been that would have been what,
Yeah. I mean, this particular
like
move. I
like a
mean,
4 hour
knowing that
trade or something. Three,
there, yeah, it's long.
like,
So 11:55 to first target was at 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours before it got to first target,
yeah, like
and
like
then
Jonesy, I have a little ADHD too. I would have been like, I would have paced a hole in the floor. So
I mean, we haven't technically even got to second target until just here at 1945. We technically finally got to second target. This one technically missed it by like I think a tick or two.
yeah,
So yes, I mean it is fascinating though, right? Like you can't time it, but we don't
right.
need to. You just need to know where price is. Where's price? Okay. It happens quick. I love those mornings, right? We've had several of those. Like you day starts off, we're like, all right, folks, we're like sitting on top of the decision points. So I get that we just gotta jump right in and go. And if you did it and they just shoot straight to all your targets, you're like, well, I'm done because I'm not going to trade again. That's dumb. Like I was trying to get to the targets and they just did it for me in like 5 seconds. So great. I'm out. I'm finished. I don't really care what the market does at that point.
Other than I'm practicing other things,
Mm-hmm.
here and do it there. So that's what I've been trying to do is that helps me with my patience, just trying to practice and then okay, just sit back, sit on your hands,
Yep.
do it.
I'm glad the videos are helping, because the intention was to show people that this is something that the market simply repeats. And then when do they not repeat? When they go into the unknown. And we had this happen. I wonder if I can scroll back far enough. Right here. So what day is this? So the 31st, last day of the year. Right? Here we are. Hits the target. Okay. So again, if you think about it in the context of the rules and like what they're trying to accomplish and so forth, did they set a target out and did they achieve it? Yes. Great. And now we're off to the races, and the sucker just absolutely collapsed. How far did it go down? Went down a ways. Yeah, the only thing they gave us left on that particular one was this, and here it is. Like, we knew at the time. So again, perfect example. The has to hold, we gave it, maybe 5 or so minutes before it happened. Fine, plenty of time to react. So here's your has to hold. Here are your targets. If the has to hold holds, here are your targets. And where'd that thing go? Bam, right to the rubber band. And how long did it take? 11 to 3 hours. So you had to hold that thing for 3 hours and just leave it alone. That's hard. I get it.
Yeah.
It's a difficult task.
I made money off that has to hold, but I didn't hold for 3 hours.
Right. Well, I guess that's the point too, is that you don't have to. Some
Right.
people get maybe too wrapped around the axle about stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's just to show that like the market has to, push through certain levels. It's got to get here. It's got to do that. Fine. What do you need to get as an individual? Is it 5 points? Is it 10 points? Right. And then what we're laying out, again, if I looked at just the distance between the hurdles, so 61 to first target, well, that's 20 points just to get to the first target. Most people are like, I don't need 20 points. Well, fine. The reality is, at least you understand that just to get from here to first target, the potential of 20 points exists. Well, suddenly it's a great ROI trade, because if they're going to get to at least 20, like nobody knows about targets 2 and 3, it's fine. But they're going to get to at least 20, and I only need 5. Your odds of getting 5 have increased dramatically.
But 20 is very attractive.
Sure. Yeah, and if you had, call it, you probably needed 5 contracts on to make this work. So if you had 5 contracts on, you had to take profit here at the decision point, because you're stuck, right? It's the same type. It's the same type of zone that I lay out for people all the time. Is that you're in between this space here that the market will, of course, pick one direction or the other. Inevitably, it's going to happen.
That's why I waited for it to go below decision.
Sure, which is an option.
That tight little box.
And this was nice too, is that decision on a day like today, kind of going back to what Jay was talking about with the core, decision was really close to the bottom of the core. So again, I'm always looking for confluency, and so should you guys, right? Look for things that aren't just one thing, but at least 2. And if you get 3, even better. Like if you looked at, again, the NQ was a prime example. This was phenomenal. It was rubber band, expected high, and there was like a series of things. I laid them all out. I forget the numbers right off the top of my head, but it was like 706, 709, and 712 were all, they aren't technically resistances, but they were, we'll call them hurdles, if you will, little minor ones, but they were all in there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things all happening within a small, like 6-point range, which is small in the NQ. That's tiny. So I'm always looking for things like that. It's like, man, because it's going to do one of 2 things. If it really is truly going to break that, it's going to do it with style, man. You start seeing multiple things collapse on each other, that candle here at 1150 would have been a whopper. That thing would have just been like boom, just taking everything out, right?
Mhm.
And that's the trading part of it. You don't know. So how can you approach something like this? And I talked about this on the last training session. I said, if you ever get into a situation like this, where you're sitting there thinking, I don't know, and I'm kind of nervous because of exactly what I just said, then take a sell stop. And as this thing approaches up into the zone, you put your sell stop in down here, a few points below it. So if it really does just take off, no harm, no foul. It's not going to touch you. If you do a limit short, then yes, you run the risk, especially if you're jumping out in front of the train, you run the risk of just getting your stop taken out. It happens. But you got to figure that out for yourself, right? Like what kind of trader are you, and what's your your tolerance, I guess. Okay, well, here we are. We're bouncing off 39. We'll see if that holds overnight. But 32 is really the important one. Yeah, again, I'm thrilled that the videos are helping. Watch them, everybody, please, on repeat, because it's the same stuff over and over and over and over. It gets kind of boring, actually. Which is good. When trading starts being boring to you, you know you're probably financially doing well. You're just yawning and leaving the room a lot, getting coffee. You're like, yeah, we're not there yet, right? Like your mindset completely changes. You're like, as it's doing its thing in between here, and just, whatever. I'll get involved if it gets up here. Like that should be exactly how you should approach it. Like, don't worry about the rest of it. Who cares? If it gets there, okay, I'll do that. Because if you think about it too, who was I talking to? I think it was who was that? Anyhow, um, I'd asked because he was over trading was the deal, and I'd asked him, I was like, okay, so what's your stop loss on your entries? And he said 3 points. I said, okay, and then he's trading the ES, so it's like, okay, that's fine, that's a reasonable stop loss. I think how many times do you experience getting stopped out? Generally, because he tries to at least limit himself to the number of trades per day, but he's still. He said he'll probably get stopped out 3 different times in a day. Like, all right, so that's 9 points. Like, what if instead you just take on the approach of just being even more patient and put one trade on at the extremes and put a stop loss of like 7 points on it? Like, you're going to lose less, you're going to trade less, you give it more than enough wiggle room. And at the end of the day, you'll actually have lost less in the event that even that one gets taken out. So I don't know. Maybe that's maybe I don't know. Maybe it's useful for somebody here. All right. Who else? What else? Anything? Talk to me. Videos are helpful. Watch those. Because again, it's all the same stuff on repeat. Rubber bands are rubber bands. It's always a counter trend trade. Has to holds are has to hold. They break. You need to just change your mentality. And like even here, like where was the has to hold? What was the last has to hold we had that was decent? There you go. Minor has to hold, but still has to hold. Where was I going with that? I had a thought in my head. Shoot, I forgot what I was thinking about. I think I was thinking about if it has to hold breaks was what was going through my head. What is this guy? Oh, it's the same 39. Yeah. Yeah. So this was posted back on what day was this? The second. So that was 3 days ago. I haven't changed it. It's the same flipping number. So I'm saying price is price. You can't time this stuff. All right. If nobody's got anything. Oh, sorry, Jonesy. Can you talk about how you keep notes? I try, but they are a disaster. Hard to keep track of. Yeah. So I have a yellow legal pad, and at the very top of each page, so as you can imagine, I go through a lot of legal pads. At the top of each day, I write the date, and then on the side, the left-hand column, I'll write price specific to what I'm not only saying to you guys, but obviously to myself. So price then has a note pertaining to what does that price mean? Okay. And then at the end of the day, I can literally I just take the time to, like, unless it happens intraday and it's slow enough, I literally just check it. And I literally write a check on it if it happened. So if there was a target or two or three or six, it doesn't matter, and we reached any one of those targets, I check them off. Because once the target has been achieved, it's the same thing as you having a to-do list at your house, and you can just check it off. It's done. Okay. I'm not really worried about that specific price any longer. Not about the bubble, it's about the price. So, and then same thing is true with the rest of it. Like if it's a big picture has to hold, I used to write little side notes and just remind myself, like, big picture has to hold, give yourself some grace, meaning it's not about the one move. Don't lose track of this just yet. Not about right now, it's about later. Okay, it's a big picture has to hold. Like maybe we don't even get close to the big picture. That's fine. That actually comports with the idea of big picture. It doesn't have to necessarily even go there. So the idea is, okay, did it maybe dip to a big picture, has to hold, and then it never got close, but then it formed another whole series of targets and it achieved all of them and pushed to the rubber band? Well, guess what? It's not going back to big picture. Why? The market already dipped, maybe got within some range of it, right? But then about faced, created a whole new series and achieved all of the targets within that series. If it's got enough strength to, one, not make it down far enough to get to the big picture, and then turn and achieve everything within another like wholly new scenario, then it's the same thing. Mentally, I just check the box. I'm like, clearly they're not going there. They've got enough strength, and just inverted, obviously, if we're going down. But they got no strength or weakness in the market to just not worry about it. Yeah, it's a legal pad. Price is on the side. Little note about what that particular price means, and that way I can just flip back, right, and just flip a couple pages back, because usually, and if it's something that's really important, like if it is big picture, and let's say we're stuck between like, well, here, this is actually a decent example. Like that we're kind of in right now. This isn't like huge picture, but it's a decent move here. So again, just like the box we drew a minute ago, just redraw the box. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll even bring it down to 32 because that really is the has to hold. So I don't know, maybe this is helpful for you, Jonesy. You could potentially, without necessarily notes, you could do this exact same box on your own screen and just drag it as the day goes on, like even into tomorrow and the next day and so forth. Just keep dragging the box, down and down and down. It's just as a reminder. It says that this is where we're trying to get to. I mean, don't forget, obviously, you got target number 1 here. Yeah, please don't forget that. Well, that's what we're trying to get to. But maybe we're somewhere in here starting tomorrow. It's an unfortunate place to be, right? Kind of sucks. Why? Well, because it can come all the way down here until it actually gets to at least here. And then the sad part about this particular scenario that we're working in, again, this is what's fascinating about the market to me, is that we've got a has to hold just 7 points in a pretty sizable scenario, 7 points below what the future has to hold will be if we reach target number 1. So if we get there, it doesn't really change much, right? It still can come all the way back to here and then back up again. So again, if you watch the videos, you'll pick up on that more and more. So helpful. Good. Thank you. Okay, great. How does everybody else take notes? Any tidbits? Anything you want to share with Jonesy? I think I even said it this morning. I was like, 74. I was like, I don't know if this is for today or not. Nobody does. So I'm not going to try to time the market, but you should put this in your notes. I think was exactly what I said. Put this in your notes. 74, 89, 704. That's what I'm talking about. So you should have a piece of paper and a pad and then have those numbers, those prices written down somewhere so you can check the box off later.
Yep, Jonesy, don't use a sticky.
Don't use a sticky. All right, there you go. I can see that becoming a bit of a hectic mess. All right. Well, cool, guys. I won't keep you here. If nobody's got anything, then we'll leave it at that for the evening.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Yep, my pleasure, Jonesy. All right, guys. See you in the morning. Bye.